Before this video begins, make sure you guys subscribe. Also, make sure you join my new Discord server. Lastly, if you want some merch, the link is in the description, and make sure you follow me on all my social medias. Yo, what's up guys? It's Nick from Against Gaming. Welcome back to another MLB The Show 20 top 10 position video. As today, we are doing, in my opinion, the most stacked position in this year's game, and probably in 19 and 18 and every year. It's center field. It is by far the most stacked position, and you'll see. So yeah, if you haven't seen any of the past videos, how we do these videos is we rank the top 10 best players at each position in Diamond Dynasty at the end of the year, once everything has come out. And then this year, something that just came into my mind around 5 minutes ago, after I do every position, I'm going to do my top 10 cards in the entire game. So yeah, we're doing center fielders. In the next video, we'll do right fielders, then we'll do starting pitchers, then we'll do relief pitchers and closing pitchers together. And then in the final video, we'll do the top 10 players in MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10 center fielders. And for our only honorable mention, I'm going to go with Ketel Marte. Now, Ketel Marte, he is a very good center fielder. You know, he plays 5 positions. He can hit against both sides. He's a switch hitter. He brings average defense. I was about to say to the plate, but that wouldn't make sense. He has average defense. He has 75 speed, which is still good. So this card all around is pretty good. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with anyone on this list. The reason why he's this low is just because the power versus righties isn't as high as the other guys, like the overall power, and the fielding is average, and the speed is the speed's decent, but it's just like this position's so stacked that there are guys who are better than him. Next, we are going to go to the community market because I don't think I have this card. I could easily get it, but I don't feel like getting it. We're going to go to a Future Stars for number 10. If we can find, there we go. And it's going to be, oh wait, yeah, I don't have Luis Robert. Luis Robert is going to be our number 10 center fielder in Diamond Dynasty. And if you look at this card, it's pretty obvious why this card is higher than Ketel Marte. He has elite fielding, elite speed, and overall, he's a little worse of a fielder, but he's more balanced, I guess. There's not one spot that's lacking. They all correlate well, if you get what I'm saying. He's good at the plate against both sides anyway. 87-94 against righties, which is it's serviceable, and 101-108 versus lefties, which is good. The fielding, really good. 97 fielding, 96 arm, 94 reaction. That's really good. 97 speed, 90 stealing, 95 base running aggressiveness. That's also very good. It's pretty obvious why he's ahead of Ketel Marte. He's just better than him at everything except for those 4 hitting stats, I would say. But everything else he's better than Ketel Marte at. Number 9. This was a tough decision to put him ahead of number 10, but I'm going with Jo Adell. Now, you're going to hear the 2 words tough decision put together a lot in this video. But Jo Adell I have at number 9 ahead of Luis Robert. And the difference between Jo Adell and Luis Robert is you sacrifice a tiny bit of stealing and a little bit of fielding, but you get more power and more contact. Personally, you can really go either way with these 2 cards. They are very similar. I personally picked Jo Adell ahead of Luis Robert because I value hitting more than fielding and speed. And you basically flip-flop them with these 2 cards. They're both really good at all 3 of them, but you just flip-flop them when you're deciding between the 2 for hitting, for fielding, and for speed. So that's why Jo Adell is my number 9 center fielder. Now we're gonna go back to the lineup screen to go over number 8, and I'm going with Kyle Lewis. And as you can see by the comparison, he is much better than Ketel Marte. Finest Kyle Lewis. Shout out to all the Mariners fans in the community. There's a lot of you guys in the MLB The Show community. But if we look at the hitting, 108, 104 versus righties, 87, 122 versus lefties. He has inverse splits, which is what I call when the power is worse against one side and then it's when one side has better contact than power, and the other side has better power than contact. Just a term I came up with, and I have to say it every time because you never know if there's a new viewer. The discipline's maxed, which isn't going to matter in MLB 21, but it does in MLB 20, so that's really good. The fielding is 90, so he's going to be a diamond fielder in center field with gold fielding in left and right. He brings the speed. He has 69 speed. That's some nice speed. And he also can steal bases with 72 speed. Nothing too elite on the base pass, but it's serviceable. So Kyle Lewis is going to come in at number 8. Number 7, we have George Springer. This card resembles the year that they cheated. So George Springer, I have at number 7. If you compare him to Kyle Lewis, he beats him in pretty much every hitting category except for contact versus righties. Now, George Springer has more speed than Kyle Lewis. Now he can't steal bases though, which kind of sucks. But if you take a look at this card, it's just better than Kyle Lewis at pretty much everything. Fielding is a little worse than Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis has 90 fielding, Springer is 83. The arm is pretty much the same. The arm accuracy is different though. Kyle Lewis has 81 and George Springer has 68. But that's not really an insanely important stat. I have George Springer ahead of Kyle Lewis just because of the bat. The bat is significantly better. If you take a look at that power, it just is. So, George Springer, number 7. Number 6, we are going to go to our first 2020 finest card. Or no, our second, because we already went through Kyle Lewis. Number 6, Ronald Acuna Jr., 99 overall. I mean, if you look at this card, let's check out the comparison besides Springer. Yeah, the only thing Springer has is the vision and the power versus lefties, and vision doesn't even really matter. Ronald Acuna Jr., 94, 125 against righties. Really, really good. That power cancels out the 94 contact. You don't need an insane amount of contact if you have 125 power. 94 is definitely enough. 84, 100 versus lefties. That's very good against the weaker side. If you look at that fielding, 93 fielding, maxed out arm strength and accuracy with 93 reaction. That is very good. And the speed is there. 91 speed, 94 stealing, 83 aggressiveness. This card is much better than George Springer. I think there's a gap between all the cards I just said and the next, and Acuna here. Now, number 5. I'm going to go with the first prime card on the list, and I'm going with Ty Cobb. Now, this is very close. I'm going with Ty Cobb just because of the cheese aspect. If you compare them, they're very similar. Ty Cobb obviously has the contact. It's obviously going to be maxed out. I mean, he had an incredible amount of hits in his career. The power is still 90 against both sides. That is serviceable. Acuna has the power on Cobb, but Cobb has the contact. Cobb is maxed out for bunt. He is maxed out for speed. He's a good fielder. He has good reaction. Now, he does have a noodle arm. But I'm putting Ty Cobb ahead of Acuna because I think overall he's a better hitter. He's better with speed. The fielding, you're only sacrificing an arm, and he's just one of the most cheesy players in the game. So Ty Cobb is going to be number 5. Number 4, we have the Seattle Mariner, Ken Griffey Jr. Now, don't get mad at me, okay? Because the next 3, I think, it's unbelievable that I had to decide between these 3 guys for the top 3. I'm pretty sure you guys know who they are, too. But Ken Griffey Jr., 99 overall, this is still an endgame card that is in so many starting lineups. Ken Griffey Jr. against righties, 124, 125. That is 1 point away from being max, and if you prestige him, it is max. Against lefties, 99, 109. That is very good for his weak side. Under discipline, good. 117, clutch, great. In the field, 96 fielding, 94 arm, 90 accuracy, 95 reaction. That is very good. It doesn't get much better than that. He has speed. He doesn't really have the stealing though, but this card is just elite. If you compare him to Ty Cobb, now it does somewhat favor Cobb, and this comparison doesn't factor in bunting and stuff like that, but I'm taking Griffey over him. His bat is just so much better than Ty Cobb's in my opinion. And the arm is better, the fielding is better, the speed is lower, but I think we can all agree that Griffey is better than Cobb. Now, for the top 3, this by far had to be the hardest decision. The top 3 center fielders that's my entire starting outfield. I'll just give you a sneak peek. The top 3 center fielders in the game, that's my entire outfield for my main team. So yeah, that's how hard it is to determine who's 1, who's 2, and who's 3. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with Mike Trout. Now, Mike Trout, look at this card. He is very similar to Griffey. Personally, I like Mike Trout more for a few reasons. If you look at the stats, Griffey has the contact, Trout has the slight edge and power, vision doesn't matter, Trout is better with speed, and in the field, not much of a big difference. With speed, it goes to Trout. These 2 cards are very similar, but I think there's a top 3 that I just had such a hard time deciding with. Number 3, I chose Mike Trout. Mike Trout is the collection reward for the Legends and Flashbacks collection. It's 100% worth doing. Do it if you can. He is a beast. I got him right when he came out, and he's been so good. Take a look at his prestige. I'm not allowed to use prestige in comparison. He's only hitting 316. But if you take a look at this card, 409, like, it's just crazy. So, Mike Trout, I have at number 3. He's very comparable to Griffey, but I like him more. I like his swing a lot better than Griffey's, even though Griffey has a really sweet swing. I time pitches better with Mike Trout. And I prefer righties that hit righties better than lefties that hit. I don't know where I'm going at here, but I think Mike Trout is better. I hit better with him. I'd rather have a righty than a lefty if they're the same card. So, yeah. Mike Trout, number 3. Now, this debate is one of the biggest debates in baseball between 2 and 1. Between Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. In real life, I think Willie Mays is better than Mickey Mantle. But in Diamond Dynasty, I think Willie Mays is number 2. And the reason why I think Willie Mays is number 2, if you just look at this card, there's nothing wrong about it. 125, 118 contact, 111, 118 power, elite vision, elite discipline, elite fielding, great speed, doesn't have the stealing. And I'm going to be completely honest, there are 2 reasons. This is what it came down to. They're this close. There are 2 reasons why I have Mickey Mantle at number 1 and Willie Mays at number 2. If we compare them, if you look at that, he's better than him in most stats. But the reason why I have Mickey Mantle in number 1, there are 2 reasons. Number 1, he's a switch hitter. I find that really, really, really helpful. And number 2, he can steal because his stealing rating is 80 and Willie Mays is like 30-something. I'm being serious. You can't go wrong with either one of them. This is a really big debate. I'm going with Mickey Mantle. I just love this card. 365. If you look at his prestige, 354, and that's one stat. If you look at homers, just his prestige, 96 homers online, including his regular card, 70. That's 166 homers collectively online. I think Mickey Mantle is the best center fielder in this game. You can definitely pick Willie Mays. You can definitely pick Mike Trout. You can pick Ken Griffey Jr. This is by far the most stacked position, but that's what I have for the top 10 center fielders in MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your host Nick from Against Gaming, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.